Emily Griest is an art teacher at Lake Region High School who's passionate about not only creating art, but appreciating its history as well. While attending Florida Southern College, she learned how to merge her love of abstract art and underwater scenes into a unique, one-of-a-kind style of painting. Here's a look at the artwork of Emily Griest.
I'm Emily Griest. I am a high school art teacher and a painter. I mostly focus on underwater work because I like the way that the water is able to abstract things and kind of mess with this idea of realistic abstraction. And I think that's a lot of fun. And so my work really focuses on water and the abstractions and the kind of design elements that that can create. I feel so comfortable in the water. I feel very serene in the water, and I feel like I can get a lot of my best work done if I'm just kind of in a quiet area where there's not a lot of distraction going on, and in the water, it's silent. And I feel like I'm able to really make decisions in the water and just feel more connected to the work I'm doing for some reason. I feel like there's not as much going on around me where I can really just focus on the task at hand. I discovered underwater painting when I was in high school. It's actually kind of a ridiculous story. I didn't want to deal with drawing my hair because it's really unique, and everybody else in my high school art class had this straight hair that was going to be really easy. I was like, you know what if I took a photograph underwater and drew from that? So my hair would be like crazy and it would be a lot of fun to draw. And so I did that, and it was this beautiful self-portrait. Well, now I look at it, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I ever drew like that. But it was a really nice piece for that age. And I just remember loving the idea of how everything would float underwater, and how everything kind of had this ethereal quality to it. And I just loved being in the water. I was a competitive swimmer for 13 years. I feel the most comfortable in the water. I always tell my students I'm not a land creature. And I also still coach the swim team, so water's been a major part of my life for a very long time. So it felt natural for it to seep into my art. And I was doing the underwater people for a while, and then I started to learn about my sophomore year in college. I think I started to learn about contemporary art movements like abstract expressionism and minimalism and things like that. And I particularly learned about Clyfford Still and loved the way that he had these really geometric forms. And I wasn't putting two and two together until my professor was like, hey, you have this really nice abstraction going on in your paintings, but you're putting these people in it. What if you just took the people out? It's like, oh, wait a second, we're onto something here. So that's how I ended up with the big, full abstract pieces. They're a lot of fun to create, I gotta say. I get to put these models in all these clothes and brightly colored, super brightly colored clothing. I have all my scuba gear, because that's all neons. And I have them float kind of just below the surface of water. And then I take my underwater camera and actually shoot up, so I don't shoot the person at all. I'm shooting up, so I'm getting all of that reflection on the underside of the surface of water. And that's the basis of the forms in my paintings. The nice thing about abstracts is everybody kind of leaves it up to their own interpretation. It's where you really get rid of subjects, and it's where you're just focusing on the paint on the canvas. And although mine has a subject, it's very hard to discern. So you're looking at it, could it be something? Is it a person? What is going on here? Because in actuality, they're portraits. They're portraits of someone dressed up really crazy underwater. But it's just so far abstracted that all you see is color and form and shape, which is where it gets fun. I don't have a super deep meaning behind these. I pick my colors by things I pick the names for the pieces by things that the colors kind of remind me of, but I want people to be able to keep finding new things in them. Almost like when you look at shapes in the clouds and you're like, oh, that's a person, that's a lizard, that's a ship. I want people to be able to keep coming back to them and finding new things to look at, finding new shapes, thinking, oh, I wonder if, this may look like a mask, but when I pair it with this thing, it may look like a bunny rabbit. And I think the kind of new discovery of different forms and different shapes within the pieces is what I really want people to take away from the work. I wish I had more time to paint. Like, if I had my choice, I would be able to come home and paint for hours and hours, but I have a very demanding job. Sometimes teaching 180 high schoolers makes you want to go to sleep as soon as you get in the door. But yeah, I think the most challenging part is making time and sticking to it, because painting's something I love more than anything else in the world. My high school students, they completely renew my love of art every day. They're fantastic, especially my AP and my upper level art kids. God, they have such a passion for it that as you grow up, people don't have as much passion for things as teenagers do. And just seeing that love of art all over again makes me love it all over again and keeps me in love with it. I may be a little biased, but I think art's one of the most important things someone can learn, because it boosts your critical thinking skills, it boosts your problem solving. Those are just basic skills that everyone needs. And then it boosts your hand-eye coordination, and if you can appreciate art, you start to really understand the joy of the world around you, because you understand the aesthetics behind everything. You start to understand why things are placed the way they are. You understand maybe why someone's taking all of this time to put these flowers in a nice arrangement. And then you notice the colors of them, and you notice, hey, they put this blue flower next to this orange flower because they're complementary colors. And oh no, I feel like life would be empty without art. I can't picture a world where it didn't exist. It's just so important. And I wish it was taken more seriously. People don't even realize or stop to think of how much artists actually do for a community. I know plenty of people that did the tapestries in downtown. They're lovely, they're fantastic. Also, when you support a local artist, you're a lot of times supporting the dreams of young students below that. Because I know we do many shows in the park for my art kids. They love it. They love it. And they love getting people to look at their work. And they love it when people are amazed by their work. And people move places for the art culture. I refused to live without, I refused when I moved to Lakeland. I was like, I will live within walking distance of an art museum. That was a must. So, arts and culture bring people that, want to get involved in their community, and bring people that make things prettier, at the very least. Yeah, supporting the arts has to be one of the most important things obviously to me, but to people around. People like pretty things, and artists bring that.
If you'd like to keep up with the artwork of Emily Griest, you can follow her on Instagram by searching for emilyk.griest.art.